Hi, everyone. I'm Joanne Binford, and welcome to Binford Chronicles. Tonight, I have a special guest. He's an electrician by trade, a 9/11 survivor, and an avid Trump supporter that has traveled more than 350,000 miles nationwide attending Trump rallies. He's been a Trump. He's been to Trump events all over the nation, organized Trump rides, and raised awareness about the state of our nation and what we can do as a nation to help Trump. It's my pleasure to introduce George Colella, National President of Born to Ride 45. Welcome, George. How are you?
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Glad to be
Yeah,
here, and
yeah, I'm
thanks for the
glad.
opportunity.
Yes, I'm glad to have you, George. I've gone on a little ride with you when you came to Vero Beach, and
Mhm.
I've seen everything you've done. I followed you. There's a lot we can cover today. Let's start with Trump's election and what got you so motivated to play this pivotal role with the biker community and getting them involved.
Well, if you want to start from the beginning, it was like end of 215 when he came down the escalator. I knew he was the person, but then we got together with a biker crew, and then we started. I was one of the original creators for Bikers for Trump, and that's how we followed him. We got the name off of this gentleman in Arizona. His name was Jimmy Williams, and we saw him carry the sign. He was a biker, and he had Bikers for Trump, and That's how we got that name. But then, due to things that we didn't get along no more, we created our own group. Was Born to Ride for 45. We're not into the uh, too much about the money and stuff. We do everything out of pocket, and you get more dedication from the members that way than collecting funds and stuff like that. Which there was a lot of situations that he did that was not I wasn't happy about because of the money he collected, and because we were doing we wrote I wrote about 26 states, and the money was collected was supposed to help out all the bikers with the gas and the hotels, but we did a lot out of my credit cards and stuff. So
Yeah,
we
you've traveled a lot across the nation using your own dollars.
hmm. Well, it was important to save this country. I mean, it was important for President Trump to get elected. I mean, I met him plenty of times on the jobs in the city and stuff, so I know the type of person he was and how he was, and um, I know he would help save this country. You know,
Yeah,
It
like you, George, I grew up in New York City, so I knew who Trump was. And
mm,
I remember seeing him on the news. There was talk shows that always had him on. And a lot of the things that he said back then, he says today,
yep,
you
yep,
know?
100%. Yep. See, he did stuff at 9/11. He gave a suitcase full of signed checks to Rudy Giuliani and told him use whatever you want um, to get, to help him support and pay whatever they had to pay to do the cleanups and stuff. I mean, it was terrible there. It was a disaster. But like they knew exactly because of the events that took place that day. They knew there were something was going to happen because
Hmm.
of who was supposed to be there and stuff like that. Because half of the cabs didn't show up, and uh, the coffee wagons that there were like 17 coffee wagons around the Trade Center, and they weren't there that morning, and they had the Ayatollah Khomeini's picture in the coffee wagons, and we had to
Wow.
wait for two techs that were Muslims, and they didn't show up either. So there was a lot of stuff, and then the rest is history of what time the plane hit and stuff like that.
There was
But
a lot of clues right in front of you, but nobody
yeah,
was catching them.
no, because you wouldn't believe that. And
Something like that would happen.
well, the government knew, but they didn't think it was going to happen, or they let it happen because I mean they knew the mosque knew because they didn't show up for work, you know. So it was a beautiful day, and it's just amazing to you know. It's a thing that you can't forget because of the situation that happened that day.
No, I
Watching
can't.
people jumping out of the building and stuff. So it's
I
not,
can't
not
what
good.
it would felt like being in the building because when I was 18, I worked for a law firm in the Twin Towers, and I was on the 47th floor. And I know on windy days you could feel the
Oh yeah.
sway.
Hmm.
Like, I'm thinking, oh man, George was on the 7th floor. Like, did he feel that?
Yeah,
When
we felt. Yeah, I felt the. I What happened was, I felt the ground shake first, and then heard the explosion. But I didn't know a plane hit. I just saw people running from the other side of the floor, and we ran out of the exit doors and stuff. We don't.
Mhm.
And they told a lot of people was on the PA system. Everything is fine. Don't just stay where you are, your seats and everything else like that. And I think they caused a lot of problems about. I'll put my phone on, just not disturb. They caused a lot of problems for a lot of more people could have been saved, really, and a lot of firemen could have been saved also.
Well,
But
some people were running the wrong way in the
yeah,
staircase, and
no,
some
well,
people ran up instead of down, and you can't imagine what they're feeling right there because
mm,
it's total chaos, total adrenaline, total fear, total you're just in a different plane
yeah, yeah.
altogether.
If you picture a clock from 8 to 2, that's the cut out of the wings of the building. They hit a dead center. So I say maybe it hit about maybe 30 floors, 30, 35 floors, the way the plane cut in, because you could
Mhm.
see it. So, and then the other one took out the corner of the building. But they
Yeah,
came
I mean,
down, there's a whole bunch of um, things that, there's all the stuff that's BS. The Seven World Trade Center was taken down. That I can tell you that one. Because they had too much stuff in there. They had the FBI and the CIA, and a whole bunch of stuff they were doing, checking out about inside trading with the traders that were in the trade center. So, but those buildings, they came down the way they were supposed to come down. From what I saw
yeah.
those buildings go up, and I saw them come down. So,
Yeah, I've been there. I've been down to Ground Zero to see
mm,
it all, and I was there earlier when it was still under a lot of construction, and then I went a few years later when it
mm,
was already built, and it was
yeah,
amazing what they did in that area, and it was amazing to see. Wow, this area used to
how big
have
it was.
these.
Yep.
Yeah, it was massive. You didn't even realize how massive it was now until it's gone.
Right. Right.
It's crazy. But
Mm.
moving forward, George, in 2016, when you heard Trump was running, what was going through your mind?
Well, because of the mess this country was in, I you needed somebody with intelligence, which he had, and to run it
Mhm.
as a business. And the problem that, well, after he got elected, I mean, there was a whole bunch of, I know Trump for a while, so he had too much faith in all the people that were surrounded him in um, 2016, 2017. Because the original person that was supposed to be his VP was General Flynn. And then
Mhm.
Previous convinced him, no, you can't do that because who General Flynn was. And then they brought Pence in, and we found out how that worked out. But the deep state, and oh, yeah, the deep state and everything else, and the establishment controlled a lot of stuff that was going on, Elvis picks and stuff like that. Now, if you see going back now to what he's doing, uh, we know that they cheated on 2020, but I
Absolutely.
I believe that was a good thing that happened. You're going to think I'm nuts, but what
Well,
happened is,
because it exposed everything.
yeah, and plus, it was controlled by the Democrats and stuff. So now everybody saw exactly what happened, what was going on, and everything else, and now the people he picked are all loyal to him, and that's what he needs because he's gonna as soon as that as soon as he swears in on the 20th, there's going to be a lot of stuff happening. I believe the J6s are going to be pardoned.
First,
Uh,
number one thing, they not only pardon, but they need to have all their rights, all their natural rights restored so they're back to
oh yeah,
life.
no, it'll happen. It'll be. It's just that there's a lot of rumors out there about what's going on, and it's because of the leaks. And people shouldn't believe what the leaks are. They should believe what Trump says. I was at a
Well,
meeting last night and explained to people that just because Trump won, it doesn't mean it's over.
no, it's
We're
not.
like we're, we're like in the eye of the storm. and people
That's
have to
right.
understand that. And I tell everybody when I go to these places, I tell them that we can't just sit back. We got to be, um,
We
what
have
can
to
I
be
say?
active and engaged because
Yeah.
it's not over yet. Kind of like some of his Trump's picks
Well, we
on
can't
his
be
list.
defensive anymore. We got to be offensive.
Well,
We have to.
I think the strategy in some of his picks, George, maybe tell me what you think. I think some of the picks that we might not be so happy with is he's pulling them out of their positions, putting them in this position. If they suck at it, fire them. And this way, we can vote. The people have another chance at voting those positions in because we have a lot of people that are representatives and they are not constitutional representatives. I don't call them rhinos.
All
What I
right.
call
Yep.
them
I
is
agree with you.
Democrats posing as Republicans. They're Democrat
Yep.
trolls posing as Republicans, and that's what's destroyed our republic.
Well, just here's an example. When Matt Gates was picked, that
Mhm.
was a setup to bring all the rats out. That was the main thing that all happened. That was all planned, and I tell people you got to stick with the plan from Trump. And then what happened was now with Pete Hegseth, the thing is that with him, the response was all the constituents the of Jody Ernest, which she would like to have that job, but she's for the
she
transgender in the military. She's
she's
out
a
of her mind.
Democrat
Yeah,
troll.
that's right. So what happened is the people were calling her up, and she got the message, and so did everybody in the Senate get the message, because Musk said that whoever doesn't agree to President Trump's agenda, he'll make sure he'll dump millions of dollars, which he has plenty of money, to their opponents, and that's
And
fact.
and that's what it's going to take to primary these long-term representatives because they've had those cash fund accounts, from running every time they got their PAC accounts, their
Yeah,
victory accounts, and they hold on to that money for the next election so they can bury the grassroots candidate.
right, correct. Well, yeah, if you look at their net worth, you can see how much money they have and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
But it's up to the people because we still have, even in Florida, we have problems with the elections. I mean, California is still counting until the Democrat wins. They haven't they haven't stopped at all. So
That's absolutely ridiculous.
yeah, well, but that was it. What we try to do as much as we can. We were successful to help him get elected. Not only me, but there was a lot of people, and also the what was done, what we accomplished was the early voting, which was very important because that destroyed the Democrats' plan.
Yeah, that was the
And,
first time
yeah, everybody.
Republicans
I know
went in,
because
in
well, everybody,
droves.
yeah, everybody wanted to wait for election day, and we just kept on telling people they got to get out early because
Got to
we got
get
to
out
get.
and vote.
Mhm.
Yep, we voted early. Well, I had to vote absentee ballot because I was in Colorado
Yeah, I
um,
remember. Yes, I remember
taking
that.
care of my daughter, so I
Mhm.
couldn't vote here. So the minute before I got on my flight, I made sure everything was in order. Went to the SOE. I said,
Yeah,
"Mail me my ballot."
right. No, but it's very good. I mean, they were still cheating, even in Florida. I mean, this place ain't.
Well, we've got some Democrats in Florida that need to go, and we have some Republican representatives that I would call Democrat trolls.
Mhm.
And we need to clean house. And the only way we're going to clean that house is if we have the money to back it up. Because Indian River County had an election, and the money pretty much controlled who ended up in office.
Yep.
We had some really good grassroots people running,
Yes,
great
I remember. Yep.
people. We had one school board member that was elected, that was uh, appointed to the board, great school board member, and he got replaced by, you know, someone who's really not going to bring those values to the school district.
You know, well, that's the main problem. The problem is everybody worries about the presidential elections, but they don't worry about the school boards and stuff like that, which is very important
Yeah,
because you see like how the kids are coming out. They just hate this country. They do all this sort of crappy stuff. I think everybody that and the uh, the students that are here that are on student visas, especially coming from the countries that hate us. They should be all sent back. You got 300.
Absolutely.
You got 360,000 students from China here in the colleges that the Chinese fund. There's a, that's like a small army. And now with the
It
switch,
is.
what? Yeah, well, people don't realize exactly what's going on, and like I know Tom. I know certain people. I mean, I'm very good friends with Tom Homan, and
I am excited about Tom Homan.
that's why they made him a czar, because didn't have to be appointed to a position at all. So,
Mm-hmm.
and he'll do
Yeah.
it. He started already. But
Yep.
we got them dirtbags in Florida. It's all the Democratic pockets that are in Florida that have these illegals that are causing. And I wish people would call them exactly what they are, illegals.
They are. They're
And
illegals, and some of them are illegal criminals.
yep.
like like violent criminals. I mean, they're all
Well,
criminals once they become illegal
they-
because they've broken a law,
yeah.
you
Well, they
know?
got to get rid of that. They have to do everything they can about the 14th Amendment, because if the baby or if there's a born here, it gives them the rights, which the Yanka babies, as we called them, that was done for the slaves after the Civil War, that they weren't considered citizens, but if they had children here, they would become citizens.
Well,
During
looking at the Constitution, the way it's written, so I would think we would need to amend that and say if a foreign entity is born here and
Mhm.
their parents are not citizens, their parents should have a certain amount of time and not a long period of time to become citizens, but not live here their entire lives till death do they part
Yeah, yeah. Well, they
as
get
non-citizens. So if they don't want to be citizens, get the hell out.
yeah. Well, it's costing us our taxpayers $157 billion for illegals. We just
Yeah.
sent we just sent a loan of 15 billion to Ukraine, which we're up to $232 billion giving them money, which is
Yeah.
just a waste of stuff. But
Yeah, and Ukraine's lost 43,000 soldiers so far that I've
yeah.
read about, that I've been doing some research on, and that we need to stop that. And Trump's going to put a stop to that. He's already got everybody pooping in their pants,
Oh yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
They had it.
can and taking care of the Canada border, the north border, and the
Well,
south
he
border
wants to
with
make that the
tariffs.
51 state. So he
Yeah, I
votes for
love
no.
that. And nobody likes him. I mean, Trudeau is just, he's a poopy emoji. I mean, people, when he shut down those bank accounts for the truckers that
Yeah, we
were
did the escort
rallying and
program up there.
anybody supporting them, he shut it down. I mean, that's total socialist communism behavior.
Oh, it's just it, and it it's great that the American people woke up. I mean, the MAGA was so powerful, but also what the new people that came into MAGA had to see for themselves how bad um, the fake news media was lying to them and stuff like that.
I think the next message we really need to get to people, moving forward, is that you really need to understand what's going on locally, because those local elections bleed into our representatives. It's kind of like Debbie Mayfield. She's in District 32, but she wants to run for Randy Fine's position, and Randy Fine, he wants to run for Senate.
Hmm.
Oh, let
No,
me see.
Congress.
Congress. He wants
Yeah,
to run for Congress, and
yeah.
then Trump did I hear right? Trump elected him, or he's on the short list for National Security Advisor. So, all of those local politics, like these guys stay in politics so long that they start bleeding into the federal politics. So if you don't know what's going on locally when they get into those seats, you don't really know who you're voting for in those seats.
I think Bob White's running for Randy Fine's seat.
No,
Um,
Bob White is running for House seat. That's District 2. That's Mayfield seat.
oh, Mayfield seat. Oh, I know he was running
Yeah,
for one of those. In
yeah,
fact, I
he's
endorsed
running.
him. I know I did it for. In
Yeah,
fact, I endorsed him. So,
he's running for Mayfield's seat, and then Debbie Mayfield is running for Randy Fine's seat.
oh,
So
that's how it's
it's
going. Okay.
yeah, those are going to be the special elections. I think those happen before April or around
Yeah, yeah,
April.
yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but it's like those are local politics right there. You know, Randy Fine's locally, Debbie Mayfield's locally, Bob White is locally because he's always involved in a lot of things and doing events with our representatives and our local representatives.
Mm.
So the message needs to be, guys, get involved locally so you know who these people are. And if you know who these people are, you can go to the county commission and talk with them and share what you don't want happening in your county. But it all bleeds up. We've got Robbie Brackett, and our he's a statesman, but if he keeps staying in there, he might decide to move up. You
Mm-hmm.
know, so
Well, everybody's taking for granted about how safe Florida is, and it's a red state. It's not too much of a red state. People don't realize that. You can't make them sit comfortable, and we got to get grassroots people in there because it's very important. Because we have to get people that believe in the Constitution. We are a constitutional republic, and that's how we should run everything.
I'm going to jump in here and add to that. That makes people get complacent. You look at Florida being a red state, and how else do you, as a politician, are you going to get elected in a red state, but be more red in your campaigning? So a lot of our politicians aren't very conservative. A lot of our sheriffs aren't very conservative to top that off, and they're considered constitutional sheriffs. So it like you said, that kind of local politics at that level is super critical because that's where they gain their momentum, their power, and their connection. So if you make that connection with a Robbie Brackett or a Aaron Grell as they progress in their political career, that's how you progress our movement, your movement, So it's
right.
like you said, I agree. It is super important. It's most important at the local level.
The whole
Yeah.
thing is we have to convince them. Besides them getting money, that the thing is about the money, like Joanne said before, and the problem is that it's up to the voters to understand that they're the ones that vote for them to represent us, not that
Hmm.
they do what they want to do. They have to um, agree to what the people want to do. Like all these bills that would come out, there should be separate bills, and then they just throw money into it. If you go to the Capitol, right across the street is where all the lobbyists are, and between it's a lot of money. So
Yeah,
it's everything about the money.
it is,
Doesn't
and
matter.
it's worse now because not too long ago they just changed it so PACs can donate unlimited amounts of
Yeah,
funds.
with the super
So
PAC.
how right? So how is a grassroots candidate going to beat that when this candidate, who's got all the super PACs, has been in service for so long that the deals are made?
Hmm.
You know, everybody's collecting their chits. I mean, we had a perfect example in this election, and I won't mention any names,
I know who you're
but
talking about.
yeah, but they set themselves up when they first went into Senate. They were a regular person like you and me, had a $350,000 house. Today they live in a $2.5 million house because when they left Senate, they became a lobbyist and that victory fund campaign
That's right.
money that
Yep.
they used some of that to start buying chits from people around running in political positions. So then when they went to run, they automatically got those endorsements. And when
Mm,
you automatically get these titled endorsements, the money rolls in.
that's right. Well,
So the grassroots, I was like so sad this campaign season because I was like, how are we going to beat the machine? How do we beat the machine when the endorsements, because people that are not educated voters, they will look at the endorsements and say, oh, well, he endorsed him. Well, he endorsed him. Well, he endorsed him. So I'm voting for him. But you don't
mm,
realize that behind that endorsement, that's a payback favor, a chit.
not mine.
Yeah.
I went.
I think
I was up at Tallahassee talking about the insurance and stuff. And when I walked up, because I endorsed a lot of those people that were up on that board, and when I walked up, they said the guy turned around, the chair turned around and said, "Oh boy." And I pulled out my Constitution. I said, well, I told him what I said at the beginning, but I pulled out the Constitution. I said, in this Constitution it says we the people, not we the insurance companies. And
Right.
everybody, they all hum and homed and everything else, but they still uh, passed that bill.
Yeah,
So
yeah, but see, George, you're a grassroots endorsement. You're a grassroots person. You're not someone from Senate or from Congress
mhm,
endorsing somebody in a local
right,
election.
right.
You know what I'm saying? Those are the endorsements I'm talking about that throw the
No, I
eye.
understand that. Yeah, I understand that. But it's
Like
just to
you're
show
down
you.
here on the ground with us, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah. Well, that's what I'm trying to say. Like when other states, the other chapters I got, they asked me, and I'll investigate anybody they want to endorse, and have to see their criteria, what they believe in. If they don't,
Yeah,
they ain't getting it. They're not
yeah.
going to get it at all. So,
I just know
and
as grassroots, we have a long road ahead, and how are we gonna
we
beat
just
me?
got to keep on fighting, and we got to vote. You got to get people out to vote. But again, you got to go back to these. I went to meetings with these machines. It's like it's a joke, but uh, you have the election, the supervisor of elections. I mean, they pull in votes. They agree to these votes that all of a sudden get mailed in the middle of the night. Why do you do that? Yes, the Republican got in, but it's not the right person that was supposed to get
Yeah.
in because he got beat out of a couple of 100,000 votes that all of a sudden became a miracle that they came in, and it's
Wow.
just
Yeah.
and you go to them and you could talk to them in their face. So I know what I said is especially that they're going to revamp a couple of the elections that are down here, but we got to get into their faces. The supervisory elections, go to their house, just hang out there, let them know that we're here. That's what's going
Yeah.
to have to
You're
get done.
right.
They definitely need to know we're paying attention because that's
Oh
the
no.
grassroots. Like without, if you don't, if the base can starve them from water, they're not going to go anywhere. So they need us. But it's
Hmm.
just like I emphasize those connections. We see local dirt bags that like doing photo ops with fake checks, out there trying to make a name for themselves, but we know who they are. But they bleed into politics also.
Yeah.
I think like I got two other comments I want to make about the local grassroots. Like, so when it comes to like Randy Fine, I'm actually a big fan of Randy Fine. I like the firebrand he brings to the table. I like how he fights with the school board member up there that's so woke wacko. And he calls him out. I like that kind of brazen type politician. But what I don't like is where he kind of turns me off is um the district shopping. Like
Mm.
I think for that seat that Trump wants him to go for now. Well, I didn't know about the appointment, but the Senate seat, maybe he has to move to Jacksonville for that seat or that state seat. I'm not sure of the logistics, but like we've had some good candidates. I'm not saying they're not good, but when it comes out that they just moved to your area, this year, I think that's where they take a negative mark when it comes to the grassroots. Well,
Yeah,
we
well,
had like we
he's
worked
got.
for some.
He's taking. I think Randy Fine has taken Mike Waltz's spot, which is it's Waltz with a T. He keeps on saying it because it sounds like the other guy that ran for vice president.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
tells, he tells me that all the time. He says, George, it's with a T. Remember, it's T.
Waltz. Like you're doing the waltz.
Yeah.
yeah, and I think that's Jacksonville, right?
Yeah, I think it's up
Yeah,
there. Yeah.
and Randy Fine right now is in the Melbourne Merritt Island area, I believe. So
Yeah.
he'll be relocating to fill the seat, which great. I like the guy. I don't know. There's a lot of people who have other things to say about him, but just that kind of moving around, it's like there's not somebody there that can step up, that can shine the light in their local vicinity. So I think that sometimes takes a hit when it comes to grassroots.
You mean instead of moving somebody you're happy with?
Right.
No, in the
But
area. I agree with
right.
Mike what he's saying. You got to get
But
somebody in that area. But like it'll come down that like say Trump picked him before he even decided. But I
right.
think he knew about it already, so it doesn't matter. Everybody comes out with the BS line to cover themselves. But like in Brevard County, the REC, what is that? The REC that's there. The
Yeah.
guy that's in charge has been there so much that all the people I go to these meetings, believe it or not, and they have the whole family come in to vote for them back into the seat again.
Yeah.
They were
Yeah.
Is
real
that
estate people come on. What?
I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. Oh, you can.
Brevard politics is very wishy-washy. It's not your run of the mill, red county in Florida, I believe. Are you Brevard County in Florida?
Who,
No,
me? No, I'm in
Yeah.
Hernando County.
Okay.
Yeah.
If
Well,
I knew I was going to get involved with Trump this much, I would have bought a house on the East
West Palm
Coast.
Beach.
It was like, no, not that far. I would have bought in Vero or something, down south, north more, but on the East
Yeah.
Coast.
yeah.
I mean, for me, it's 4.5 hours for me to take a trip there all the time.
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
The other
Yeah.
comment I
In
was
fact, I got to go
interested-
there Friday.
The other comment I wanted to make, and I was interested in your opinion, is you touched on it, was the Matt Gaetz nomination. I too believe he was there for a reason. And I feel like it wasn't like it played out exactly how it was supposed to play out.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
What
that was
I'm
all the setup.
curious is what
Yeah.
work did he do in those meetings? Because I, you know what, call me what you want, but I feel like this might have been an intelligence operation or a psyop on the MAGA operation to flush out. So what do you think? What kind of meat do you think he brought
I'll
home
tell
from the
you.
market?
I'll tell you exactly what happened. I'm pretty sure. I'm very good friends with Matt, and I'll find out Friday. But the thing is that, in fact, I put a letter of endorsement out about him becoming Attorney General, and put it online and stuff because it was important. But I had an idea about the game plan because they hate him so much. He walks through Congress's hall and says he gets money from the lobbyists. He points every place. He gets money from the lobbyists. He calls them out, and he can't be bought. Matt, he comes. His family's pretty well off, and he's very good at what he does.
He is.
I mean, we got rid of McCarthy and we put Johnson in, and Johnson wasn't what we all expected, which was.
He was what I expected.
Yes.
Oh no! I mean, I'm saying about
not what we wanted.
And, well, you know what happened with that one, right? Because when he came out and he said, "No, Ukraine's getting no more money," and then he went into a meeting with Biden, the CIA, and the FBI, and another group of people, and then he came back out and all of a sudden changed his mind about giving the money to Ukraine. So either they had something on him or something like that. I'm assuming, which sometimes assuming you make an ass out of you and me. but Matt, what I think is going to happen now. He got a job with OAN, right?
That's what I heard today. Yeah.
Right, yeah.
I didn't hear that today.
Now, the approvals when they go up for the voting, when they get the official department, like the Attorney General, it comes up in April, the votes and all that stuff and everything. It's not going to happen. I mean, they'll do the work as stand-ins because it'll be like a temporary until they get voted in April. And I think what's going to happen is the job that Matt's got is a temporary thing, so he's out of the limelight. And then when Pam Bondi becomes Attorney General, either he could be picked as an assistant Attorney General or special counsel.
I'm hoping for the special counsel.
Me too, but I'm just giving out scenarios what I think is going to happen, because then but the special counsel has to be approved by the Senate. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's part of what I believe some of those meetings were about. I mean, would you agree that during his nomination, his short-lived nomination, he probably had meetings with senators that he wouldn't normally give him time behind closed door? Yeah. So I'm wondering, I'd love to be a fly in some of those on some of those conversations. That
there's a lot of senators that are 100% back Trump. I mean,
right.
Toon and what the hell's his name? The guy from Texas. They're two pieces of crap of rhinos and well known. But what I think now is happening is that because of what happened to Joni, with the constituents calling up and complaining to her to change her mind about Pete, I think a lot of them got messages. And especially what Musk also said about he'll dump money, millions to their opponent, because that's what happens is they need the money,
Yeah.
you know. And
Right.
Jody wants that spot that Pete's got, and she ain't gonna get it. You know, she's all for the transgender and all that bullshit that's happening. They fired, what was it? I think today they fired like 20 generals or something like that because they were with that woke and DEI stuff.
Oh yeah.
I think they did that today.
So they're
Uh,
making moves. They're
well, they have to
they're
make
getting ahead of it. Yeah.
the whole thing. You know, the whole thing is that they know, and believe it or not, even that Trump wasn't in office in 2020, he still had control.
Mhm.
Right.
He had control with the generals and stuff like that. It's not that, you know,
He had
everybody thinks, well, he
influence.
was set back and everything else. If there were a lot of signs that day. And like I tell everybody, I did last night, you know that you got to watch everything that President Trump does. When I was there at the announcement when he first made his announcement on November 14th, 2022. And I'm going to tell you something crazy. It's going to freak you out. All right. So I'm telling everybody there's something up in this room, and it's the flags that are driving me crazy. And they're telling me, what it is? I don't know. There's something. So now, if you looked at the stage and the flags, they had 6 flags under the Make America Great Again sign. They had
Mhm.
6 flags on the stage, and then they had 6 flags under another sign. Okay. On the back wall, I go count, and now there's 19 flags there. Okay.
Hmm.
So I said, what is he doing? There's a signal here, something I'm trying to figure out. The flags were all pressed perfectly, you know,
Mhm.
and so I counted and I counted. So now President Trump comes out and he makes the announcement this way. He says, I'm announcing my presidency, okay, for the president for the United States of America. He did not say 2024. He did not say the 47th president, but he did say for the president of the United States. The
Mhm.
last constitutional president was Grant, which was number 18. Then Washington became a corporation when they had that meeting at Jekyll's Island
Yep.
with all the banks and stuff. And they
Mhm.
created the Federal Reserve and so. But the last constitutional republic president was Grant, which was number 18. If he was stating that he was going to be a constitutional president, he would be number 19.
19. There you have it.
Yep.
So again, the chess player comes out again.
Yeah.
And that's why
Some say like he had to technically lose so we could see, because if he didn't lose, or if it wasn't stolen, or if he didn't leave Washington, however you want to look at it,
Yeah.
because some think he was still the commander in chief.
they gave him a 21 gun salute. You know that, right?
Right. But if that didn't happen, we wouldn't know everything we know today. And it's almost bone
Yeah.
chilling where we were 8 years ago. Now it's like, man, that
Did you
wasn't a
see?
conspiracy at all.
Did you see General Flynn's movie?
Not yet. No.
Rent it on. It's on Amazon.
Okay.
Is
I
it?
rent
What's the name of it?
Flynn. It says Flynn on it. You'll see it.
All right.
But I can't say that we used to when Flynn came out, we were with him a lot. I became friends with General Flynn,
I like
and
Flynn.
he was telling me stuff because we traveled every place that he went, so we could watch it back. We can't say that certain word because we're not bonded, and Joanne knows that. So what happens is he was telling me stuff that I could not believe that what they were doing to him. But if you and the other thing is the raid on Mar-a-Lago, they were looking for the hurricane papers. Okay. Because that would incriminate a lot of people. And
You're
that's
talking
why
about
they
the,
did
the
the raid.
hurricane in Hawaii? No.
No. I'll have to remember the name. It's
Katrina?
called what?
Not Katrina, was it?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, it's a code word.
Oh,
You
Sorry. It's in
were
Flynn's
above
movie.
our head.
Oh yeah, sorry about that. But it's shit, I can't remember. I should have wrote stuff down. I try to do everything from my head, but it's not doing too good. But what happened is they were looking for those papers, and that's why they raided Mar-a-Lago.
That makes sense.
Crossfire Hurricane.
That's
That's
right.
it.
Our
Thanks.
next guest, Kevin, chimed in, and it's
Thank you, Kevin.
Crossfire.
Appreciate that.
Crossfire
I
Hurricane.
had a brain fart, but that's the papers they were looking for, and you'll find out a lot about that in the movie. So now what happened is the picture that the FBI's put out with the files fly all over the floor. If you remember that picture
Yeah, those
that
were
they
fake
had, all right,
pictures.
there
They
was a
did
box.
that.
What happened?
They did that.
Yes, but let me tell you what they did. There was a box to the right of it with the Times magazine in it, with Trump sitting at the Oval Office, with Pelosi, Schumer, all of them looking through the glass into the Oval Office. So they were showing, and saying that was a sign to all the communists there that they were setting up about throwing the stuff. And I've been there. I've been at Marlow Play, and the papers aren't like that, trust me. And plus the security guard that they got, the security that he has there, it's like unbelievable. So that was all bullshit. But that's what they were looking for. And they didn't find it because it would incriminate Hillary, Schumer, what's her name? Pencil neck there, Adam Schiff, which that was another joke. He should have lost to California, but that wasn't going to happen.
I think it's all going to boil down to the Obamas.
Oh, yeah, that was the other thing.
Oh, yeah.
But here's the thing. If you go on Flynn's Twitter the X account,
right,
that's his target.
Yeah.
Obama.
Who was I watching today? I think Benny Johnson did a show today, and that's what all the chatters go. It's filing back down to Obama.
Yeah, but now
obviously we're living.
Now he's falling out of grace with the Democratic Party now. They're not too happy with him now.
A lot of the big money is mad.
Yeah, I saw something linking Obama to Diddy.
Oh no! Well, Diddy worked for the CIA.
Another Epstein.
That one.
Another Epstein.
Yep.
Yep.
But now the files will be. But that's why they didn't want Matt in the whole mix, because he was promising that he's going to open up the Epstein files and everything else. Now Kash Patel, he'll get that director spot.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Kash, I know very well, and he's going to. Let me tell you something. And he's going to do exactly like he said. He said he wants it, the Hoover Building as a museum for the FBI, and take them all out and go out and fight for the law, do what they got to do.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's one, and Kash and Trump. He was working for intelligence, Kash, but Trump and him have a great relationship. Everybody that he picked, they have a relationship. Tom Homan and Trump are very, very tight. They're very close. And Tom Homan's going to do what he did. He did it with the one out in Long Island, Bayshore, with the MS-13. When Trump told him he better, he's got to take care of it because they were cutting up the kids up there and everything else. With MS-13, and he says, "I need transportation." Tom told President Trump, "I need transportation." He says, "What do you need?" "I need transportation." So at Republic Air, you're from Long Island, Joanne, aren't you?
I'm from Queens.
Oh, Queens. Well,
Astoria.
Well, Republic Air is not a big airport, but they landed 4 C-130s there to get all the MS-13 on them and ship them back where they came from. Now they got this other one that Tela Dogway, whatever the hell is.
Oh, I was just asking Kevin now if he wanted to jump in early, if he had any comments he wanted to.
Well, if I'm talking too
long,
I'll stop.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
No, this is a good conversation. Come on, bring him on. Come on, Kevin, join us.
I'm holding up.
Kevin. I'm going to bring Kevin in. This is Kevin McDonald. He served.
Ask me anything you want.
Kevin had served.
This is on Rumble, right? Is this on Rumble?
Indian River County.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, good. Because then I could say a lot of stuff.
Kevin.
Hello, Kevin.
Kevin, your mic is muted. Go ahead and unmute your mic.
There we go. How are you doing?
There we go.
Right, I just when you mentioned Astoria, I had to pipe in because I lived in Astoria when I first moved to New York.
Mm-hmm.
So we could have been neighbors.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's what I'm saying, that he needs to, and now the plan, this is what the plan's going to be. Tom Homan's going to go after all the criminals first. Mm-hmm. Now, where are all the illegals going to scoot to? All the blue states.
Yeah, California, New York, Michigan.
So
Chicago,
now he knows where they all are.
Chicago's screaming. They don't want
No, but I'm just saying is they know where they all are. You know what I'm saying? he's going to trap them in exactly all these sanctuary cities and these blue states, and it'd be easy for him, so he doesn't have to go all over the country. That's what the main plan is. That's what
I'm a full believer in we're watching 4D chess and play out in
oh yeah,
fast
100%
forward.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
I got
Oh,
that
yeah,
picture
but
Trump playing that too. But
Yeah.
there's
Tom
there's some
Homan, we
conflict.
gave Tom Homan a vest, a biker vest, and I sent the pictures exactly how it looked. But he says, "What's my name?" I said, "I'm not telling you your name." I said, "You're going to put the vest on, and then you'll see what your name is." So he put the vest on. He looked, and we called him the Iceman,
Ah,
and that's why he uses it all the time when he says
oh, I love it.
it. That's all. But a good guy. I mean, the guy is great, friendly. He looks tough. He is tough, but I'm saying very down to earth guy. Another one, just like Trump is and stuff. So I just anybody got questions, I'll answer if I can.
I think we touched quite a bit. I don't know if Joanne or Kevin have any questions.
No, it's just really interesting. You seem to have a lot of really tight connections and answered a couple of background questions that I didn't know I was concerned about Matt. But it would be interesting if there was a strategy. I was sort of hoping there was a strategy behind it, because for him to resign his position for an indistinct probability was sort of risky, but perhaps it was part of a plan.
Well, he can't. What the problem is that they can't put Matt into the mix yet because Trump wants all those things approved first. You understand?
Yeah.
He knows how much Matt's hated because he got
He's
into a lot of the congressman's face. So what they're doing is letting him lay back. This is what I believe. Like I said, I'll see him Friday. I'll see if I get some dirt out of him because he likes to talk to me like that. But the funny thing is this is what I think, because like you said about him, President Trump having that 4-tier chess system, and which he does is he just keeps on moving them up and down, back and forth, and not all the ones. Don't forget their appointments. It doesn't mean that that's the spot they're going to have. You know what I'm saying? The secure ones of the czar that they picked out, the czars that they picked out, and the Dodge thing that they picked out. There's no challenge to that.
How do you feel about Pam Bondi's background, her opinion on like risk protection orders, red flag laws?
Well, a lot of them, I think the red flag laws, I think they'll change. I think President Trump is going to make nationwide open carry. I believe that's going to happen. I'm 99% sure that's going to happen. So you won't have to worry about the red flags law too much.
Well,
Now the thing with the red, what happened?
Well, the thing with the red flag laws is that's somebody calling you out.
Yeah, but it's got to be investigated the right way. Not that they come to your house, take the guns away, and then they got if you have a wife and you piss her off, all of a sudden you get the red flag and they got all the stuff. That ain't gonna happen like that no more. And the biggest guy that was red flag was Grady Judd, and a lot of people like Grady Judd. He's the number one champion.
So
are you familiar with Sheriff Mack from Arizona, the former sheriff from Arizona? He does the
Richard Mack.
Yeah, conservative. What was it, Joanne? We had him on one of our shows.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
he goes around. I know who you're talking about. Yeah,
Constitutional
he's a good
Sheriff
guy,
and Peace Officers Group Association.
I was at Arizona. I was at the border there, and I'll send you the pictures, Joanne.
I want to go to the border with you.
No, we went there, and what happened was we bagged the illegals up on a hill, and we called the Border Patrol, and the Border Patrol came, and they got them all together in the group. So I told the guys that I was with, I said, let's go back down to the border, to where the fence is, and all of a sudden you see the guys trying to climb up the fence with backpacks on their back with all the drugs on it. So what they were with decoys, so they could bring the drugs up, and this is the game that's there. But now when I was there, they had hundreds and hundreds of SUVs behind the fence, plus horses, and they have just two on patrol of that whole wall in Arizona. Two.
Yep.
We were in Texas also. So I mean,
let them in. Just let them in.
Yeah. Well,
right?
that's, I mean, especially what they did to the National Guard. If I might sound cruel, but if you would have shot a couple of them, you would have stopped a lot of them about
Mm-hmm.
them coming that border, because they're breaking the law. Number one, we're being
Yeah.
invaded. We're protected. We're a sovereign nation, and we have the rights to protect our sovereignty, and that's even force.
We
By
do, and it
statute, yeah. By
uh,
statute, they're a felon when they cross that border.
Yeah, right. So what happens is they could
absolutely.
be, but because we're, you know, Obama, well, not Obama, Osama bin Laden said our own rules, our own laws would destroy us. And some of those laws that have to be changed, especially what's going on at the border. I mean, they're trying
Well,
to
and
get in as much as they can.
well, if you're a property owner and your property lines up to the border and some illegal is crossing your property, you should be able to shoot them.
Yeah, well, but the whole thing is that because the way the states are and everything else, especially Arizona, you can't do that because you got the governor that's a piece of garbage up there too. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, look what happened with the voting with Maricopa County again, it's just the control they have, the cartel, the amount of money that they make, they make $175 billion a year with the stuff that they do. Even the child trafficking is 150 billion, 152.5 billion dollars a year, child trafficking. And now they lost, how many kids they lose? 350 kids, 300.
That's just
Yeah, it's like
that's
300.
just the ones they're going to tell us about.
Yeah, well,
Right.
that's what I'm saying. The problem is we have to create the short term about them being in office. Number one, that's a must.
You're talking
And
about
the whole
term
thing is
limits.
that the people have to understand that if we abide by the Constitution and that they represent us when we elect them, they have to. I mean, if our founding fathers were around today, they'd be by the gallows already. Half of them people in there, you know.
Mm-hmm.
See, if I run out of bullets, I got my swords in the back, so it's right there. But that's it. That's everything in a nutshell. I mean, there's so much stuff I could say, but I can't.
Yeah.
I would hope that the theme of 2025 is along the lines of what you're just talking about, is if laws are broken and there are no consequences, more laws are going to be broken.
Yeah.
And I think the problem is that selectively there have been no consequences. FBI, CIA, from Comey all the way down to everybody has been just doing what they want. And the regular process has been, no elected official is going to really want to fight last year's battle. So they'll put a new stake in the ground and say, you can't do what you did anymore. From here forward, we're going to go after you. And then they just realize, well, we just got to find a new way around the new rule. And they just keep breaking the new rules, and the old ones never get prosecuted. And that's why they continue, because they know there really is no, it's like being an illegal alien. There's no consequence.
I agree with you, but what's going to happen is that with cash being in there's going to be a big turnaround in the Department of Justice.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be by the law and by the Constitution. It's not going to be no other way. And what's going to happen is, if you make examples of them, even if they have plenty of money, they have to move out of the country and stuff like that. I mean, they have offshore accounts. Everybody knows the garbage that they pull. I mean, Matt, when I saw Matt at the Capitol, he goes, "Come here, I want to show you something." He said, "There's a building right across the street." He says, "You see that building there? That's where all the lobbyists are. Just the medication. Oh, China does our medication. India does our medication. They should bring all that stuff back to the United States."
So
Right.
that our enemies are
Everything.
not
Yep.
taking care of all that stuff. We need to have
And
security
then the fentanyl,
independence.
I mean, the fentanyl's coming out of China. How do you stop it? You do tariffs on them and say, listen, you don't bring that shit here. You got so many people dying. You got, what was it, 150,000 people died from the fentanyl?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
George, I've got 4 minutes left, and I did a special
goodbye.
video for you. I want to thank you for coming on. We got to do this again. I love you, man. And thank you, Kevin. We'll see you at 7. I have a special video I want to play for you, George, if you want to hang out and watch it. Thank you so much.
Watch that
everybody.
Flynn movie, General Flynn's movie. Watch it.
Yeah, we are. So
Amazon.
I'm gonna add it to the stage. This is for you, George.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, we're not a bunch of small guys either.
No. And you're all gentlemen.
That's going to be the next governor of Florida right there. You're looking at him.
I wanted to talk to you about that. We'll have to do it next time.
Okay.
That's the first time I met you.
Yep.
With Mark Keith Robinson in West Palm Beach.
We were at Surge's too. Yep. There's cash. That's Wally's truck.
George, before you go, where could people find more about
Well,
going to Rock 45?
We're working on a website, number one, where the Facebook is the best. Instagram. You could also be in touch with Papa Bear. Alan Mark, he's our VP. He posts a lot of the pictures. I don't, so you can follow him on Instagram. You'll see what we do. We're not photo. I don't like to take a lot of photos. I mean, I got a lot of them, but I just don't put them up and everything else. We're gonna do the end next month, January. We're gonna do a movie for the whole what we have done.
Oh, that's awesome.
Because when we did the rescue down in Florida, down in Fort Myers and everything else, when the people weren't getting money, I was putting Ukrainian flags all over the place. So in case Biden would see maybe they would send the people money down in Florida because of the hurricane.
Right.
So, but very spiteful.
Yes.
And I can get in people's face. I really don't give a shit who you are. I'll tell you how it is. So that's why a lot of people like me.
Well, thank you so much,
all right, no
George,
problem.
for coming on. We love
No,
you.
it's an honor. I appreciate it. Thank you very
Keep
much.
up the good work. I hope we do this again.
We will. Appreciate it. Thanks for
All
being there,
right.
buddy.
Thanks, George.
Bye, everybody.
God bless.
Bye.
Thank you.